What is up, guys? Welcome to the top 10 or this week top 5 Arrowverse moments of the week, episode 17. I'm saying episode from now on instead of week because it's top 10 Arrowverse moments of the week, week 17. Saying week twice in a row sounds a little weird, so instead I'm going to be calling them episodes from now on. This is actually a top 5 moments of the week because for two reasons. One, there were only 3 shows airing this week: The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning. Arrow is on break for March Madness, I think, and Supergirl has been on break for a while now and is coming back in a couple weeks. But yeah, only 3 shows aired, and none of them were really great. They range from okay to good. So if I were to do a top 10, nothing from 10 to 6 would be a good moment. It would be a good moment, but not great, not worthy of mentioning in the slightest. So I just thought, why don't I just do a top 5 instead? It doesn't make sense for me to do a top 10 in a week like this when none of the episodes were great and there weren't a lot of great moments. So a top 10 it just wouldn't make sense because 10 to 6, they would all be okay moments that are not worthy of mentioning. But either way, this week consisted of The Flash, Season 4, Episode 16, titled Run, Iris, Run; Legends of Tomorrow, Season 3, Episode 14, titled Amazing Grace; Black Lightning, Season 1, Episode 8, titled The Book of Revelations, which, by the way, another book. I think there have been 2 episodes from the season that have not been titled something with a book. The reason I have a problem with that is because if you're going to do a theme with every episode is a book, just do that every single episode. Just doing 2 episodes where there's the resurrection, another is Black Jesus, that ruins the theme of the titles, so there's no point to it. So when there's no point, it just looks stupid. I really hate the titles for Black Lightning. But either way, those are the 3 shows that aired this week. Again, none of them were great. But either way, moving on to the top 5 with number 5. Number 5 is the scene at the end of The Flash this week where Iris becomes a reporter again. The reason this is on the list is because for the past 2 seasons, ever since season 1 or 2 ended, I don't really remember when she stopped being a reporter, but that just disappeared. She stopped being a reporter and for some reason became the leader of Team Flash this season, which rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I didn't like it. It made no sense because the reason she became the leader is because Barry was gone. But if Barry was really gone, then Cisco or Harry or something like that should have been the leader, definitely not Iris. That was the last choice. So the fact that she's I think stepping away from that and becoming a reporter again is definitely a plus for me. Also, that's what she has always done in the comics. She's a reporter, and I think also in season 1 it was actually pretty interesting. Her whole storyline of her being a reporter was interesting and gave her something to do. And the thing they're doing now of making her the leader of Team Flash made no sense. That was the thing they gave her to do. So for her to become a reporter again, I like that a lot more. And this moment was actually really good because of it. Number 4 is on Black Lightning when Jennifer discovers her powers. There's not really much to add to this. It's just that I like the fact that she's discovering her powers. It is a little weird that she's discovering her now when it took Anissa 4 more years in terms of age. But I think it might be connected to what's happening in Freeland at the moment. I think it might be connected to the fact that things are happening. I don't think it's connected to age. I think it's connected to something triggering it, for lack of a better word. But this moment, or rather moments, spanning the entirety of the episode, her discovering her powers was really cool to see. The effects were cool. Just the concept was cool. I would like to see more of this. Number 3 is the scene at the end of Legends of Tomorrow when Elvis says goodbye to his dead twin brother. I didn't even realize this while reviewing the episode, but I looked it up and they did this whole thing because Elvis, I think he said that the source of his information, of his inspiration is actually his dead twin brother. So the way they used that in this episode was actually quite clever. But then at the end when he said goodbye to his brother, it actually was a little bit emotional, despite the fact that we barely know these characters. I mean, they're not really characters, they're real people, but we just met them this episode. So the fact that they made it actually emotional when they said goodbye to each other, that was actually pretty cool, not gonna lie. They actually made me care about those 2 characters. It was really one character and a ghost of another, but it was actually an emotional moment, which is why it's on the list. Number 2 is Iris creates a big tidal wave and defeats Jacob Birch. I'm calling him Jacob Birch because he doesn't actually have a metahuman name. I think he's the first and only, so far, villain of the week who doesn't actually have a nickname by either Cisco or somebody else. So the only thing I can call him is Jaco, or I don't even know how to pronounce that, but Jacob Birch. But this scene is on the list mainly because it looked really, really cool. The tidal wave, the effects for the tidal wave, and the fire were great. It looked really epic. If it was like the Flash doing this, actually the Flash, Barry Allen doing this in season 1, it probably would have been an amazing moment. The fact that it was Iris and it was season 4, it carried a little less weight, keeping it from number 1. But either way, it was a really good looking scene. The effects were great. The Iris actually was pretty great. Not great, but she was pretty good in this episode, and you see that in this scene. She was actually really cool. It does bother me a little bit that she could do something that Barry's never done before, but I think he's never done that because he's never had the opportunity to. He could clearly do it, so that doesn't bother me as much as if Iris like did something crazy that's connected to nothing Barry's ever done before. That would bother me because this is her first day. But it's not something like that. It's just running on water in a certain way, which again took Barry a couple episodes to learn. But whatever. It looked like it was a really cool scene, and it was also really cool hearing Barry say "Run, Iris, run," even though it was probably the least. It was not the most powerful run ever. There was Run Jesse run earlier in the series. Obviously, there were a lot of Run Barry runs. This is probably the weakest one. And I'm going to credit that or discredit that on Grant Gustin. The delivery wasn't that great. But despite that, this scene looked really great. The tidal wave looked great. The fire looked great. It's just, this scene is really this high on the list because it looked really great. And there weren't that many other scenes to put it this high, to take its placement from number 2. Number 1 is the reveal, or it wasn't really a reveal, but the first time we've seen the power of the Death Totem on Legends of Tomorrow. Up until this point, I didn't really have much of an idea. I mean, I speculated that it either controlled the dead, brought people back to the dead, or brought them back as zombies. For some reason, it didn't even cross my mind that they'd come back as spirits or ghosts, but that is what they did, and it was a good reveal. It wasn't really a reveal. It just happened. It wasn't played off as a reveal, but it was a reveal to me because I didn't expect it. I didn't expect the fact that this is what it would do, but I really liked it. The effects for the ghosts were really scary and spooky, and I liked everything about that. But anyway, let me know what your favorite moments were in the comments down below. If you disagree with me and think that I should have done a top 10 because this week was actually better than I'm saying it is, that's fine. Let me know in the comments down below what your top 10 were if you had a top 10. I made a top 10, but I looked at it and I just thought the numbers from 10 to 5 are not great moments. Most of them are just okay to good moments, and I wouldn't be able to talk about them that much either way. So I just made a top 5. I said screw it. I don't really want to do this top 10. I'll just do a top 5 instead. But if you have a top 10, let me know in the comments down below what it is, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. Also follow me on Twitter to get better updates for my videos because it seems like YouTube doesn't know what it's doing at this point. But anyway, don't forget, I already said that. Thanks for watching.